Hello, hello. My name is Eiley Funk, and today we are here to learn a little bit more about Streamer.bot. Today I will be teaching you how to make a leaderboard. I used mine for a little stream game I made, but you can use yours for tracking any user global variable. Alrighty, let's get to it. So this is a brand new instance of Streamer.bot. I do have it connected to my Twitch, my Streamlabs, and everything I need. So we're just going to pop right into the actions. And we're going to start with adding a new action. We're going to call it Leaderboard Tracking because that is our hardest part. And we're going to toss it into a group called Leaderboard. So for the tracking, we're going to set our trigger to add core global variables, user global variable updated. So if you have multiple user globals that you're tracking, you would definitely want to put in the specific one that you are using for this leaderboard. For instance, mine in the game I made is just correct. It's for correct answers. But we're going to go ahead and leave this blank. It will trigger on any user global variable updating. And then from there, we'll go right into the sub actions. First, I'm going to go ahead and add a group. And this is going to be global gets, because we have 6 global gets to get. So we're going to add core globals global get. And what we want this one to be is first, because this is the person that is in first place. And we are going to get it to check 1. This destination variable is only for this action. And don't forget, if it persists or not, you'll need to remember that and set that. So if it's something that resets every time you open, go ahead and tick persisted off. If it's a continuous leaderboard that you want across multiple streams, go ahead and leave it persisted. And we're just going to essentially duplicate that. Add core globals, global get, and it'll be second to check 2. Add core globals, global get, third to check 3. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that to make it a little easier on me. And this one is going to be first user. And we're going to call that user 1. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that with second and third. I see my mistake already. Second user. Okay, so we've got the points from first, second, and third that are the checks. And first, second, and third users that we're going to use as user 1, 2, and 3, just to compare names. So we can go ahead and minimize that, get it out of the way. And we're going to add some logic. We're going to add if else. Can I leave this blank? I cannot leave this blank. Okay. I was going to go ahead and set up all 6 of them, but it'll be okay. So for the first one, it will be if global dot username equals, and I like to set equals to ignore case just in case. I haven't tried it as just equals yet. But the variable global.username comes from the trigger of the user global variable updating. So if that equals, where am I looking? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, if global username equals user1. So if this person is in first, then we are just going to go ahead and back to globals, global set. And we are going to go ahead and set first, that's our score, to the global dot new value. And you need to make sure to wrap your variables that you need parsed, that you need the values put in for, with your percentage signs. And make sure that your capitalization is correct. Otherwise, it won't work quite right. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and add back to the logic. We're going to add a break there. So this is if the person is already in first, it updates their score. And then it stops because if they're already in first, it shouldn't affect any more of the leaderboard. Now we're going to add another if-else logic. And this one is if the global dot new value, also from that trigger, is greater than the value in check 1. So this is if somebody's new points is higher than whoever's already in first. So from there, we're going to, I'm sorry, my brain just stopped. We are going to just set a bunch of globals from that. We are going to set the variable second user as the value that was in user 1. And then we are going to set the value of second to the value that was in check 1. Is this making sense? I hope this is making sense. So this is the person in first, moved to second. Then we have to also add setting the first user to global dot username. So this is whoever's new value is greater than the one that was in first. Now the first is this person. And then we just have to do that with the points as well. First to the value of global dot new value. And then lastly, we will also add another break. Because if this person just moved from second into first or from unlisted into first, the only thing that should need to change is the person in first going down to second. Because as long as this is running at the beginning, there shouldn't be an issue with the person in third moving to first. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this one So right click, copy subaction, paste subaction. So this time, if this person already is user 2, we're going to set second to the global new value. And then it'll break. So if the person in second is staying in second, and then we're going to copy this one, paste it. If this value is greater than check 2, we are going to set third user to user 2, set third to check 2, second user to global username, and second to global new value. So if the person in third moved to second, that's what you should look like. And then we're going to do this one more time where we copy and paste both of these. So if the person in third stays in third, we are going to update their score. And this time we can go ahead and delete this one and delete this one because I'm only keeping track of the top 3. If you wanted to keep track of more, you'd just keep going. But for the last one, you just need to go ahead and set the third place or the last place globals. So if the person in first, if the person whose variable updated is already in first, it will update their score. If the person moved into first, it will move the person from first down to second and the new person in first, and so on and so forth. For third, it just kicks whoever's third right off the leaderboard. Alrighty, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a leaderboard visual. I'm going to show you how to add a visual of this tracked information to Streamlabs is what I'm going to do it with. So we're actually going to go ahead and come back here and just copy this whole folder, the global gets. But we are going to change what it is getting to. So the first score is going to be part 2. The second score is going to be part 4. And the third score is going to be part 6. And you'll see why in just a minute, because the first user is part 1. Oops, I put an extra character there. The second user is part 3. And the third user is part 5. So if I sort these in this way, it shows you that it'll show you the first user, and then first, the first points, second user, second, third user, third. So all I'm going to do from that is add to Streamlabs desktop, set GDI text. I don't know why it makes me do all of this part, but make sure that all of your things are spelled and capitalized the same way. And then this supports variable parsing. So you can put your variables directly into here. So part 1, and then I'll just do a colon in like 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part 2. Part 3, colon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part 4. Part 5, colon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part 6. So this will populate it as that first username will go right there, and then their score will go here. So let me go ahead and set some variables. What are they? First and first user and so on. Add variable first. First has 22 points. Second has 17. And we're going to go ahead and make sure auto type is on. Uh-oh. So we're going to delete that variable and redo it. Auto type. First still has 22 points. And then third has, let's say, 10. Dang it, I forgot to auto type that one. It won't compare them right if you don't have your numbers as some sort of numeric type. So a string is for a specific combination of characters, such as words. Long is for very large numbers, and integer is for smaller numbers. But I can't seem to figure out how to get them to auto type as integers. So long works for what we're doing. And then we're going to add first user is Kayla. We don't need to worry about auto typing these because they will be strings. Second user, what should his name be? Brig. That sounded like a good idea. And then third user, I don't know, let's do Zachary. I don't know, I just pulled some names out of the blue. I'm sorry. So we've got all those variables set now, as if Kayla is in first, and so on. Oops. Did that? Yes. Okay. So now we need to figure out a trigger for this. I have not yet found a good trigger. So because I watch my stream, my chat really hard to watch when people are getting up there, I go ahead and I do a key press. And I do it with the number pad 0 key. But you could probably do it with like a Twitch message or I don't know. It might even work on the user globals updating as well. But I haven't tried having both of them on the same trigger because sometimes on my PC that seems to not work as well. So Or you could do it on global variable updated because that's what each of those if else actions in the leaderboard tracking is doing. Oh, we're just going to go ahead and leave that blank. So these are some options for you. So if I go ahead and hit my number pad 0, and then I come back over here into my Streamlabs and I make my leaderboard visible, now it tells you that Kayla has 22 points, Brig has 17, and Zachary has 10. So that is a nice visual that I like to use. Not necessarily set up like that, but let's go ahead and take that away and come back to Streamer.bot because we've got one more thing to show for sure. We're going to do a leaderboard message. Actually, let's cancel that. Let's just go ahead and duplicate the visual and rename that to leaderboard message. So in that, we'll go ahead and we'll delete those triggers and we'll delete that set GDI text. So it still gets all of those globals to those same bits, parts 1 through 6. And now you're going to go ahead and add whatever your streaming platform is. I use Twitch, chat. I can either send a message or send an announcement. We're going to go ahead and do it as a message. In third place, we have part 5 with part 6 points. Next, we have part 3 with part 4 points. And leading our game with part 2 points is part 1. So that looks and sounds really weird, kind of wild. You don't have to use parts 1 through 6 as your get variables. They're just what makes it easier for me to remember what I'm doing. And so our trigger, we're going to go ahead and add core commands triggered. And we're going to create a command, and this one is going to be, I'm just going to call it leaderboard so it fits our theme. And it's going to be exclamation point rank or what's my rank? No, we're not going to do the what's my rank. Just exclamation point rank. And we can go ahead and put that anywhere instead of start or exact. So now I hope this doesn't show anything silly. Oh, that shows me playing with the command from my normal stream. So we're going to go ahead and test this trigger. And in the chat, in third place, we have Zachary with 10 points. Next, we have Brig with 17. And leading our game with 22 points is Kayla. But you can set up the message to be however you want it to be. Just remember that line breaks, at least in Twitch messages, I'm not sure about other platforms, line breaks will send it as a new message. So let me actually go ahead and show you. Line break there, and line break there. And we'll test that trigger again. And come back to our chat. And it went ahead and sent it as 3 separate messages. I still agree with this. I need a break. Alrighty, I think that's it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything, go ahead and let me know. I can answer questions in the comments. You can connect with me on Discord. Yeah, I hope everybody has a great day and I hope that helps.